In this video, we are going to take a look at the 5 stages of an INFJ door slam. Do you have any idea what the common thread exists between Nelson Mandela, Carl Jung, and Mother Teresa? They did not hail from the same country, nor did they have the same profession, nor the same mode of expression. The first was immortalized in the apartheid. The other one revolutionized the field of psychology, and Mother Teresa is often considered to be a torch of benevolence. Despite such differences, there is a point where all of these personalities converge, and that is in their personalities. All of them are considered to have been the INFJ personality type. INFJs take other people's feelings into consideration much more than one might give them credit for. Just take a look at the names of the aforementioned people. Weren't they compassionate? Shall I say, more than compassionate? They're constantly looking for what the romantics often call more than words. They'll take your body language, facial expressions, the tone and diction of your voice, and much more into consideration before making any judgment. And this means that they're much more emphatic than your everyday Joe. However, they can shut you down completely from their life without giving you a slightest hint that you are ever needed. This complete erasure of someone from their lives is commonly known as the INFJ door slam. If an INFJ has shut the doors of entry into their lives, you should know that they have probably weighed in the situation with some care. They've most likely even given you a chance before to correct yourself. But you've used up all their courtesy and now you're silenced, mightily ignored. In that way, they've not really slammed the door. That's more metaphorical. In literal terms, they've quietly snuck out of the common room of your relationship and made sure that the door has been locked in a way that getting back into their lives is well nigh impossible. INFJs try as hard as possible to erase every trace of remembrances of you from their lives, whether it be by burying all the souvenirs and gifts you gave them, taking time to erase every last text or messages you sent them, and blocking you on every possible platform where they can see your name. But what stages do they go through before deciding such a thing? No burst of anger as deep as that can come about without prior stages of grave mishappenings. We'll take a look at that shortly, but before that, we wanted to say that we're making these videos for free. In our mission to understand the world and the people around us better, we've created this video. All we ask in return is for you to like our videos and subscribe to our channel. The subscription will pay off a lot better if you hit the notification button. That way you won't miss out on new videos. All set now? So without further ado, let's look at the 5 stages of an INFJ door slam. Number 1. Conflict emerges. When you spend a long enough time with somebody, you are bound to have disagreements. There will be apologies from both sides, and that's the way one can move forward. And if the apologies are sincere enough, that adds to the strength of the relationships. The more disagreements or differences you can put aside that way and move forward, the better. INFJs, on the other hand, are a curious bunch. They are highly intuitive and know when a person is not sincere in their apologies. They'll always have deposited that trace of pretentiousness in the expression of remorse and regrets of people in the back of their minds. This will be more of a case when a person who has hurt an INFJ tries to say that they're emotionally hurt. More often than not, the rationalities of an INFJ is overpowered by the feeling of seeking goodness in others. Every person deserves a second chance. INFJs believe in that too, and let their feeling brains take precedence over their thinking one. Even when the people around an INFJ say that the one who has hurt the INFJ is practically a crook, an INFJ tries to silence the voices of those people in their own heads. An INFJ is someone with a vast reservoir of compassion. Burying the hatchet is always their initial stage that leads to the famous INFJ door slam. The toxicity of others shall be tolerated initially by an INFJ. Number 2. Realization of the complete picture. For an INFJ, looking at the complete picture might take some time. People with insincere emotions do often repeat their mistakes. Their apologies weren't something that possessed gravity to begin with, and with time, the same things, the same mistakes, the same resentments reoccur. And this is a slow process. Nothing changes overnight. The quietly contemplative INFJ will then move into a phase where they look at every word of the people who they once forgave in depth. They'll also listen to the tone in which the words are spoken and take in the contexts too. For an INFJ, the person who already did these things from the start will get even more detailed in his analysis, and they will probably realize the depth of toxicity of those people. The INFJ will soon figure out the lies, deceits, and emotional bullying were a charade from the start. This can often come about in a feeling of what a neologist describes as Altschmerz, which is the feeling that all the old problems, all the mental stresses that were crawling upon you, same old, has come again, wearing the mask of something new. And that this resurfacing for the umpteenth time makes you want to spit out the problem and cleanse yourself and have a healthier start. Number 3. Avoidance in a healthy manner. Any stressful situation, such as an out-and-out confrontation with someone about the wrongs they did, the repetition of the same old things is not what an INFJ is looking for. They've mused over the situation and known that they've emotionally invested heavily upon those people that weren't worth it. And having another row over the bygones is not what an INFJ prefers. So they'll keep themselves emotionally distant from who has done this. It is not a feeling of hatred. Some sort of a hatred was already there from the beginning. Remember in the first stage of an INFJ door slam, we told you that in the back of their minds, they've already registered some sort of an intuitive resentment. While in this stage, an INFJ feels that the other person is not worthy of a resentment either, but plain emotional separation, outright detachment. Despite the vast reservoirs of compassion that INFJs have, everything has their breaking point, right? Would you blame an INFJ for a detachment when the other has just played the victim card far too often? Someone who thought that there are infinite chances for the wrongs? Constant bickerings over the smallest emotional things tend to exhaust the INFJs. That is because they have a highly functional brain and their creative powers sap a lot of their energy. They're rich for perfection too, and adding an emotional breakage will only compound the issue. This is one of the reasons why they'll stay in the cocoon of their lives without attaching themselves to the botherer. Number 4, the final chance. Despite the avoidance, there's still a chance for someone to make nice with the INFJ. It's just that the person has to be emotionally intelligent to understand that. More often than not, it is the mismatch in the feeling and thinking brains of the INFJ and the other person that has skewed the relationship so much. The INFJ has infused a lot of feeling brain into the relationship, while the other has a brain that simply thinks and how that thinking brain can manipulate the INFJ. But if spending time with the INFJ has changed the other person genuinely, then there's a chance that the relationship with an INFJ can have some sunshine. An INFJ's constant willingness to let go of the things that once were a great source of conflict, their bountiful understanding, their ways to perfect the relationship must have touched the inner core of the other person. The other person must truly be transformed, truly be enlightened in order to pursue a more healthy relationship. Number 5. The eternal shutting of the door or the door slam. If the other person isn't transformed, hasn't developed their personality in a way that the relationship begs to be developed, and mucks up the final chance, then you have a strange realization. You'll soon come to terms with the fact that now there is no proverbial grand slamming of the door by an INFJ. Hell, there's no door to begin with. If you try to make friends with an INFJ now, you'll be pushing at a non-existent door. That is because if you don't quite make it through the final chance, then you'll have no idea how you can make up. There won't be any connection to the INFJ's line. You'll soon find out that you have been blocked over Facebook, Messenger, Viber, or any other connection site you might have talked with them previously. If you think that there's something you can do now in order to save the relationship, that might be nothing but wishful thinking. An interior monologue that an INFJ might have will be something along the lines of Shakespeare. What is done cannot be undone. I've given entirely too much of my time and effort, which I can use in building a healthier, more nurturing relationship than I was in. You pretended to be a friend, someone with love, someone with an ounce of dignity. But I can now see through your mind games. We shall be in each other's company, nevermore. When such a firm position has been set, there's no possible way of getting back into the life of an INFJ aside from the chance encounters you might have. Besides, such chance encounters are romanticized a lot, and real lives often aren't a shadow of such portrayal. Choosing to walk away is one of the great strengths that some people have. Some people just hang on to toxic relationships way too long, and they can't detach themselves from the emotional scars that come about as a result of being in emotionally dominated states for too long. Time is a great healer, they say, but when the wounds run way deep, time too has to run deeper to cleanse you of the wounds. But an INFJ knows how to distance themselves from the mess of emotional crackpots, and they do it with some style, acting as if you were never there. And that act is not really an act. It is their very being. The distance they maintain is a way to healing, whereby the reflections and memories of the people who hurt them have to subside before letting someone worth their time in their lives. Getting over an INFJ door slam might take some time to recover. Feeling that someone doesn't weigh a singular gram in their lives is quite a blow to recover from. Are there any other stages of an INFJ door slam you think we didn't touch upon? Sure, everyone sees the world differently, and we'd like to know how you see an INFJ door slam more differently than we do. And which is the stage that you're most fascinated with? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. If we see that this video has put a smile on your face, we'll be inspired to make more such videos. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. You can also write to us what other things you want to know about. For now, you can watch the video on the screen, and we will see you next time.